By the way, welcome to Tarot and Tapping in the Tapping Club. I'm going to change my podcast name, by the way, guys. I'm not sure to what yet, but we've got Gemini energy in the building today. And you know what? This Knight of Swords, he doesn't even really capture the energy of like what the fuck we're dealing with today. Okay. He's like real chill looking. He's real like, a little flirty, a little curious. But the original Rider Waite tarot, the Knight of Swords is like, he's like running on the horse, like full speed ahead, right? But it's like a mental function that we're talking about today. So we're going to talk about the Knight of Swords and how that might be manifesting in your experience right now within you or around you. I've experienced both. I'm definitely experiencing it within myself today. Um, but maybe you're experiencing this energy in someone around you. And and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because what's coming to mind immediately when I say that is like someone in your connection or like your circle is embodying the Knight of Swords energy and it's like destabilizing you. But I'm going to go ahead and bring this message right now, right quick. Take what resonates, friends. Only take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because that's not for you if it doesn't resonate. But that energy is being projected onto that person. If it's bothering you, there's a landing place inside of you. And it's something inside of you that you're just not you're unconsciously experiencing. And that's how the mind works a lot of times. I guess we're getting right into it. That's how the mind works a lot of times. We experience things through others because we're experiencing it unconsciously. And they act as that mirror. And it's not always literally like, it's not always a literal translation of like what's happening inside of you and what they're doing, but there is a match somewhere inside. So if there's someone in your life that feels like this energy we're going to talk about today, I've got a bunch of notes, then trust and believe that person is reflecting you in some way. And there's something unconscious that it would be helpful for you to see. And that's why it's so charged, because the Knight of Swords is this like really, really charged mental energy. This like, where's the line that I wrote down? Something is moving through me mentally and it wants direction. It's just kind of that like kind of energy. And it can feel really exciting, but it can also feel really destabilizing. And so we're going to talk about the energy of the Knight of Swords. And I want you to be really aware of where you're feeling it within you and where you might be seeing it in the connections around you. And excuse me chomping on some gum today. It helps me ground because I'm in this energy, this Knight of Swords energy. I'm just erratic today. I'm erratic in the best way though. So okay, Gemini energy is our ruler for today, which is air energy. And I feel like the whole point, okay, I feel like the whole point of this energy, and I can even feel it in the air around me because I feel like everything's speaking to us all the time if we listen. And it's how we feel like there's this restlessness in my body, but there's this crispness in the air around me. There's like this easy breezy playfulness, this like fun kind of like, oh my God, I'm like in a bouncy house. It's kind of the vibe I'm feeling today. But I don't feel like everyone who listens to this message is experiencing it like that. For some people, this energy is going to feel restless to the point of like inner collapse, like nervous system overload kind of energy. Because that's what it feels like to me now. It's just coming through for me in a more playful context. And so the Gemini, I wrote this down. I read this in the book before. It says it's the air of emotion, like a refreshing breeze that clears away fleeting negativity. I feel like that's our purpose today, guys. I feel like that is the point of whatever's happening. But like I said, sometimes that gentle breeze is not so gentle. Sometimes we're not going to interpret it that way. And this is where the mind is really like overworking if we're feeling like it's happening through its shadow. So we're going to talk about its shadow expression and its light expression. And this is stuff that we move through on a daily basis. Like it's not just like a one and done. We're always cycling through different expressions of consciousness as humans on a daily basis. And this one's just loud today. This is the one that came through. So, okay. And we're going to be talking about, because the goal here is to bring conscious awareness to a subconscious process, a subconscious thought process. because I feel like somebody who's gonna hear this message today is kind of just, like, in the meat and potatoes of the thought process, like, they're just kind of, like, being it, and they're not practicing a lot of awareness of it, and that can really lock you into it can lock you into a perspective, a story, a narrative, and it can lock you into an emotional experience that really just isn't nourishing to you, it doesn't feel good to you, and it's making you feel like shit. So, we wanna bring some fucking awareness to what's going on inside, and not to place blame, but to take responsibility, to take accountability for what we are doing inside, for how we are positioning ourselves within. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's see, where do I wanna begin? Oh, and the other thing that was coming through, allergies are getting me too. I'm sorry if I'm sniffling a lot. Okay, the other thing that was coming through, and I felt this message come through earlier this week too. Somebody has questions. They have questions, and like there's this resistance to uncertainty. So take a moment, reflect on that within your life. Like, where the fuck am I? Like, where do I feel like I need to figure this out now? Where do I feel like I need answers now? And what is that feeling like to you? Because your body is the feedback. How it feels in your body is telling you if you're moving from an unconscious place versus like being in alignment with something. Because there's one thing I've experienced this on both sides. Like there's one hand with the Knight of Swords, and it's aligned expression and it's a lighter, trusting expression when we're connected to our heart, when we're regulating and grounding ourselves. There's like this receptive state that we can enter into, and answers can drop in like that. Clarity can boom like that. But if we're not in the receptive state, if we're kind of disconnected from our heart space, if we're operating from a repressed emotion that we're avoiding, which is the case for some people, then we're chasing that answer. We're digging for that answer. We're looking for that answer, and we're just getting more and more frustrated. And I feel like that's who I'm really here to talk to today. Someone who's really caught up in the frustration and the pursuit of truth because they are telling themselves on some unconscious level, I don't have the answer to this. And if I don't get the answer to this, it's going to affect my survival. Even though consciously you're going to be like, no, this isn't survival. This isn't life or death. But your nervous system doesn't interpret it like that. Your nervous system is activated in this energy. And that activation can lead to inspiration or it can lead to inner collapse, not permanent collapse, just like momentary, where we start acting out of our fucking shadow selves. And the thing with the Knight of Swords is that, and I've experienced this, oh man, I know when I can step into my Knight of Swords energy, especially in its shadow. Because if I'm feeling like I'm in a state of uncertainty, like especially in like a relationship, a romantic sense, oh boy. If I'm not careful, if I don't regulate myself and back off, I will get into bitch mode. Or cunt mode is probably a better way to put it. And I've gotten a lot better about that. But sometimes she still wants to come out and play. And I gotta be like, wow, girl, chill out. Go back in. Go take a nap. Go rest. Go tab. Go do something. Because you about to hurt somebody's feelings and you're gonna feel bad about it later. And I also experienced this with people too, where they just like I say this to my ex all the time. I'm like, you're ramming me. And not in a good way. Like you're ramming me verbally with your thoughts, with your noise. You're like bulldozing me, which is so Knight of Swords energy in its shadow. So Knight of Swords. So where is any of this shit happening for you guys? You're welcome to comment or message me privately if you want to, or just, keep it to yourself. But okay, the Knight of Swords represents this charged mental momentum state. So something has momentum in your inner experience. Okay. And the Knight of Swords can talk to us about how thought moves, how your perception is accelerating, how truth is pursued, how the nervous system mobilizes around ideas. Let's see. Oh, my gum just like split in half. Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I knew it was going to be annoying to have my gum while I was trying to talk, but oh well. Okay. So we're answering the question. Okay. This is the unconscious question that we're answering. What is my mind doing? What the fuck's going on in there? Because again, like I kind of said in the beginning, I feel like for some of you, this is going to be an external experience. Like you're going to be experiencing this through another person a lot of the times. Right? And that can look like arguing, disagreeing, or, feeling genuinely triggered by someone and just like going into shutdown mode. I just did that not too long ago. I went into shutdown mode big time because I was super triggered. So, in the context of what is the mind doing? What is my mind doing that's putting me in this restless state? That's got me in this like, "Ugh," you know? Is it pursuing? Is it cutting through something? Is it searching, reacting, charging, seeking answers, chasing clarity, moving toward truth, wisely or chaotically? How are we doing this? In the light, this can feel like, and okay, let's say it this way. This is two sides of the same coin. Okay. One side of the coin is panic spirals, intellectual obsession, speaking impulsively, taking urgent action out of this like feeling of like, if I don't, something's going to happen, something bad's going to happen, arguing, hyper focus. On the light side, the other side of the coin, it can look like inspired breakthroughs, like, "Oh my god, I understand now. Holy shit, I get this now." Sudden clarity, right? Rapid realizations, channeling insights from your eternal being, your inner being, or your intuition, however you wanna phrase that. But it can feel either way, it's like neither one is bad or good. Neither one is bad or good. I'm all about reducing shame because shame doesn't help anything, honestly. It's an invitation to love yourself more deeply, not to correct something that you perceive as wrong about yourself. So however this is playing through, I want you to see this as an invitation just to connect more deeply to you. Because ultimately the source of the pain is this disconnection from yourself. If you're experiencing this through someone else, it's not because you deserve mistreatment. It's not because you, I don't know, are just like unlucky or whatever. However, maybe whatever negative thoughts you're thinking, it's happening for you. I mean, really, like we as a collective, as a human collective, we got to transcend that victim mindset. It's okay to feel it sometimes, but don't stay there. Become aware, become aware because that when we enter victim mode, we're saying I'm powerless. I'm powerless to this. And you're not. You are the fucking source. Like your energy is the cause of these situations, not the cause of other people's behavior. They are responsible for that. But your energy is the magnet, okay? Everything else is reflecting you to some degree. And as long as you look at it like that, as long as you allow yourself to look at it like that, you will always be led into your intuitive understanding, into these sudden breakthroughs, right? That's where you can really start to access your clarity when you step out of victim mode. Like earlier this week when I got triggered by my friend and we started kind of spiraling and arguing and it was like literally both of us got into Knight of Swords energy like that and we were just like going at it. And I had to step back. I had to step back because I was acting like a victim to him when really the situation was triggering me. Therefore, it was activating something subconscious inside of me. That's a blessing. That's a fucking blessing in disguise. It doesn't feel like a blessing, but a lot of things don't feel like blessings that are actually blessings. That's a hard-earned lesson I've gone through. And I have to sit down with myself. I had to tap through my shit. I literally danced, like rage danced in my living room. I put on all the songs that just I felt like I can move my body to. And I tapped and I danced. I woke up with a kink in my neck the next day. I went so hard. But it helped me. It helped me get into the lighter essence of this Knight of Swords, which is like this peaceful detachment so I could step back into observer mode and look at what the fuck was going on. And so that momentum that was coming through my body, it didn't I because I tapped, because I danced it out, because I just moved my body, I got the energy out. I kind of worked with it, right? That's the point. Work with it in whatever way that looks like to you instead of just sitting and ruminating in it, because that's when we lock ourselves in and thought becomes a cage instead of a tool. Thoughts are tools, okay? They're not meant to be dictators to us. We're the ones that our observation is what gives them power. The thought is simply a tool. And so because I did that, because I stepped back and I took care of me, regulated myself, grounded myself, right? Which is what we were talking about. We get in the shadow when we disconnect from the heart, the body, a sense of groundedness from our inner stillness. I step back into that space. And then I was able to come to the clarity that I needed, and I was able to see, "Oh, I need to set new boundaries with this person within myself and with them, but first within me." And because I was able to do that, we were able to move forward in a productive way, in a beautiful way that didn't leave anybody hurt. Because before that, we're just fucking hurting each other. You know what I mean? So, okay, here's the shadow expression. Let's go deeper into the shadow expression of this Knight of Swords energy. And you can decide where you're experiencing it and whether if it's inside you or outside of you, it's all a mirror. It's all just here to guide you. It's all somatic feedback. It's not a right or wrong. But okay. And take this too. When I read these things to you, take these as a sign that your job is not to figure it out. Your job is to reconnect to you. And that's why we tap. But okay. So the shadow of the Knight of Swords looks a little something like, I must figure this out. I have to figure this out. I have to figure out where this new connection's going to go. I have to know because like I am sitting unbearably in the discomfort of the uncertainty. I experienced that too this week. I had to navigate that. I must move now. I've got to do something now. I've got to figure this out now. I got to take action now, even though that's coming from this like fearful place, right? I need certainty. Or, ooh, here's a really bad one. Not bad, but really like can be real toxic. I need to win. I need to win this argument. I need to win this. I need them. They have to see it from my perspective. I need to do this or else something bad's going to happen. At least that's what it feels like in the nervous system. Or it just feels like I can't stop thinking. I just can't stop thinking. And that feels like this restless exhaustion. Oh, good Lord. I can't stand it. That restless exhaustion. I've been feeling that all week too. And it's just like it feels overwhelming and it feels like you want to crawl out of your skin sometimes. The shadowy Knight of Swords energy. So where are you guys seeing that in your world? Like what area of your life? What situation do you have this I gotta figure it out now kind of energy? I've got to figure this out. I'm obsessively thinking about it, which let's just keep going into it, right? Confirmation burp. Yeah, looping thoughts like constantly, 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 and just like hyper fixating, compulsively analyzing. That could even look like for someone like me, pulling tarot on every goddamn thing instead of just trusting the moment, even though I love my tarot. But like, come on, girl, you can overdo it sometimes. Attachment to narratives like, well, I've decided these are his intentions or these are her intentions. I decided this is how it's going to go. When you don't fucking know, you just want to grab onto something that feels certain. So you reach into your bucket of past experiences and you say, well, this is probably the most likely thing to happen. It feels more comfortable and safe for me to assume the worst thing's going to happen or the best. We can be naive too sometimes. It's better for me to assume this thing's gonna happen than to just be in the discomfort of uncertainty. Because I actually have a podcast episode going out on Monday about the 7 of Pentacles, which literally talks about being in the discomfort of uncertainty and like seeing like little sprouts of what you wanted. Shit's starting to get real, but now there's still so much open space for interpretation. And it really embodies that uncertainty and that discomfort that we feel within it. And we think that discomfort is a bad thing, but it's not. It's a part of the transformation process. It's the part of the alchemical situation that's happening in your body, the reorganization. It's actually where the creation is really taking root in that discomfort. And it's all about how you respond to it. And the shadowy part of this Knight of Swords energy is we're responding to that discomfort, to that momentum within us from a place of chaos and fear versus trust and surrender. But we're going to keep going into it. This feels like in your nervous system, it feels like it's charged, right? And thoughts, like I said, take on this survival quality. I have to figure it out now. I have to know now. I have to know now. If I don't know now, why haven't they responded to my text yet? Oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, oh my gosh, it's just that gap of uncertainty that's destabilizing the shit out of you. And that's where the opportunity lies. It's not in figuring out what's going to happen. It's not in knowing what's going to happen. It's not in forcing something to happen. It's in the magic happens in you sitting down in that space and being like, "Okay, I'm fucking uncomfortable. Man, I'm uncomfortable. Fuck, I don't know what's gonna happen." And you deciding as the fucking creator that you are, as the source consciousness, as the individual expression of source of the all, you deciding that you're safe, that you are fucking safe right here, right now. And again, that's why we tap. That is why we tap, because tapping is the thing that plugs us back into that safety in our bodies. It is the tool that we can use right here, right now. It's in the palm of our hands. It's right here, right now. No excuse. No excuse. I can't meditate. No, fuck that. You don't have to meditate. Tap. Tap through it. You tap and your body is going to calm the hell down. It's going to help bring you into a sense of like homeostasis. So that way you're not at the mercy of this energy and you can instead flow with this energy because it's a beautiful energy. It really is. Like this to me and its light side, I feel like some people are going to hear this message that are feeling really erratic in this space because they're wanting answers to things only because I feel like you're hearing this message because you're being reminded to recenter into yourself because that's where the answer lies. It does not lie in someone's response to you. It does not lie in some outcome. That is projection. That is you saying 222 on my clock. That is you saying, I don't have the power here. They must have the power. And the Knight of Swords, in a lot of ways, it is powerful. It is extremely powerful. But if it's not being aware of itself, if it's not being present with itself, it's gonna express that power, like I said, chaotically. But okay, let's keep going. So in the shadow of this, you've got intellectual defensiveness, like being rigid belief system, like just being unwilling to budge purely because you're uncomfortable with the idea of changing it. Clinging to certainty, and certainty by the way, it's just not the nature of life. Like uncertainty is where it's at. Uncertainty is the purest expression of life. That and it's great because that means that nothing is set in stone, you guys. Like there are infinite possibilities and we can use the tool that is thought to align ourselves with that. And that affects how we feel. It subconsciously alters how we move. And that's where it becomes effortless. Effortless alignment when you work with your thoughts. But okay, fear based control over identification with ideas, resisting surrender, trying to control all this shit that you have no control over, being a bulldozer. That's what this energy can be like, a fucking bulldozer. It's using your mind as a shield instead of a compass. That kind of vibe. And the thing that came through was if I loosen my grip on this, I'm going to lose control. But honey, you ain't got control. The only thing you have control over really is your inner world, your inner experience, the way you respond to things, the way that you decide to think and apply meaning to something. But you don't have control over this person, that person, or this outcome or that outcome. It's all reflecting you, which in a weird backwards way means you do have control, but not on the external. And so if your focus is on the external, how do I make this go the way I want? You're missing the magic. It's how do I embody being the person who this is natural for? That's the magic. That's the work. That's it right there. But that requires a lot of surrender and trust. And again, the reality is you don't need to earn trust. You don't need to earn any of these things. They are natural states that come from a regulated nervous system, from having a conscious hand in your thinking process and consciously directing your mind. And I used to be someone who so desperately wanted to be able to do that. And I couldn't. I literally just couldn't. I was so dysregulated. I was so afraid of my own shadow. I could not control my thinking. I couldn't choose a thought consciously to save my life. Anytime I tried to think a good thought, my body would just shut up. No. And it would just like make me feel horrible and make me afraid to do it. But whenever I started daily tapping and tapping, whenever I started feeling these activated states, when I tapped through it and I worked with my system and I allowed the tapping to metabolize my emotions in my body. That's what happens when you tap through a heightened emotion. It metabolizes. So that way the loop completes itself. It doesn't just keep looping. And remember we were talking about mental obsession, looping thoughts. Tapping is the saving grace for somebody today. When that stopped, when I finally did that enough, it took me some time, but when I finally did it enough, now I'm at the point where more often than not, I'd say probably 90 to 10%, 90%, 90% of the time, out of the 10% that I can't, 90% of the time I can choose a conscious thought and it just bloop, drops into my body and it just feels good. Even though I have no physical reason to think that thought. It's because that's the symbol. The physical is the symbol. You are the cause. You are the essence of that symbol. That symbol can exist in a bunch of different ways from a bunch of different like energetic causes, right? But that symbol doesn't even have any meaning without the essence. You are the meaning, you are the why, you are the cause. It all originates within you. But okay, this also looks like someone just too anxious to sit still. Being afraid of the quiet because and you don't know why consciously, right? Some of you don't know why. Like, why can't it just be quiet? I always have to have something on, TV on, and I'm kinda like that sometimes too, but not out of fear anymore. It used to be out of fear. But somebody fills up a lot of space with people, friendships, conversations, um, just go, 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 go kind of energy, and you probably tend to feel burnt out because and the deeper reason why that is because subconsciously there's an emotion that your nervous system is nervous about feeling. And if you sit still long enough, it's going to rise to the surface. If you go into that still space, and that's a lot of the reasons why people tend to struggle to meditate, mostly because they're avoiding something. They're avoiding feeling something. So the question that came through is, what are you afraid to feel? What are you afraid to feel? And there's something on the other side of that. I remember like I had the biggest breakthrough when I just had this overwhelming pain and nothing I was doing was helping it. Nothing. And this was a couple years ago. And something said, "You need to feel it. Just feel it." And so I sat down in that feeling and I just closed my eyes and I went into my body, and every time my thoughts grabbed me, I came into my body and I just looked at the emotion wherever it was in my physical body. And it was gut-wrenching. And this was before I had tapping. I recommend to do that with tapping because it keeps you grounded. But it was gut-wrenching. I thought I was gonna die in that space because that's what it feels like. But ultimately what happened is like I'm in this dark space, I'm in this feeling and I'm just like crying through it and I'm feeling through it and I feel sick to my stomach. But then eventually what happened is like this bubble of like serenity started to form around me. And I don't know how else to describe it other than that. And I felt safe. I felt the feeling still. It sucked, but suddenly I was giggling. Suddenly I was like, "Oh my god, I'm going to be okay." And a lot of the times that's what we need to hear. That's what we need to know. I'm going to be okay. Cuz somebody doesn't believe that. But the only reason why you don't believe that is cuz you're in your head. You got to get out of your head in your body. But okay. I need a sip. I need a sip. This thing is really relaxing me. Do you guys know about these little like breezy thingies? I don't know how to say it. Briz. I don't know. It's lemon elderflower social tonic because I'm not drinking alcohol right now. But my God, I'm like feeling relaxed as hell right now. Okay. I needed that though, because otherwise I was going to be like completely unhelpful to you guys. I was so erratic. Okay. Let's talk about the light side of this. And like I said, this is two sides of the same coin. And if you guys ever have any questions, just drop them in the comment section. I promise I don't bite. But there's two sides of the same coin. And even if you're in the shadow expression of something, with awareness, you can guide yourself into the light expression. Not that either of them are wrong or bad. It's just one is less helpful in the moment. So, let's talk about the light. And the light expression of this Knight of Swords energy it's when the mind, your thoughts are resting, kind of hanging out with your wisdom, your intuition, your higher awareness. So it's like if we think of it like if we think of it like the shadow is the part of you that's hanging out with your fear, like, let's personify them a little bit. Like, you got your little fear self and your little, like, nervous self, your little survival self, all this shit, right? That's the shadow side. You're hanging out with them. Like, those are the friends you're spending time with. And then the light side, you're spending time with, like, your wise advisor. You're spending time with your high priestess energy, your or high priest, whatever. And they're looking at all the information and they're giving you like the higher perspective of the situation. That's our goal. That's where like we want to work towards. But forgive ourselves when we don't because sometimes we just can't. It all serves a purpose at the end of the day though. I really want to say that. But okay, this is when and again, hold on, actually let me back up because someone has a question. Someone's asking a question. And maybe it's an unconscious question, but there's something that someone wants an answer about. The lighter expression of this Knight of Swords is where the mind becomes a channel, meaning you, and I experience this all the time, you just receive a thought. Like you weren't actively looking, you just receive a thought and it answers a question. It answers a solution. It's an inspired idea. And then that momentum that this energy represents carries you through the expression of it. This is when the nervous system is responsive instead of reactive. Okay. This is when divine insight and channeling, like receiving instead of forcing, can actually flow and go. This is where your answers come through. Again, they don't come from out here. You might perceive that it's coming from out there, but you'll feel it in here. And it's like, oh, that's what I needed to hear. Holy shit. All the time I have that happen. I'll have something pop up that literally answers something I was just thinking in my mind like 5 minutes ago. It's so cool. And that state that comes from being more regulated, that comes from responding to the overactivation with regulation. Again, that's why we tap. But okay, this looks like listening clearly, right? Being open versus thinking constantly. So if you are in that constant looping thinking state, don't judge yourself for it. Don't criticize yourself for it. Become aware that you're doing that and breathe at the very least. Breathe. Come back to your breath. Come back to the present moment because then you can be more of a listening state. So you can actually get the guidance that you're seeking. This is when you're moving with awareness, when you're moving consciously, intentionally, versus, again, reactively. This is experiencing emotional intelligence, being aware of your emotions and why you're feeling what you're feeling, and responding with compassion, responding with integrity, intention. Again, this is that peaceful detachment I was talking about. This is just movement without the chaos. And this part of you, this part of your mind, it cuts through the illusions. And fear is an illusion, my friends. Fear, it's that voice in your head, the negative self that's like, oh, this is going to go wrong and this is going to go wrong. Worry about this, worry about this. That is the illusion. Okay. If you're in a state of worry, you need to ground and regulate because that worry is, I hate worrying. It's so pointless. It really is so pointless. It doesn't do anything but align you vibrationally with the worst case scenario. It really just kind of, it's like you're inviting it in some way, shape, or form. But it cuts through the illusions. It does not cut through people. If we're cutting through people, we need to chill out and go regulate. But the question comes up, is my mind, is it serving fear in this moment? Or is it serving consciousness, meaning awareness or love? Like, where am I operating from? Where am I mentally operating from? Am I using my thoughts to control reality or to interpret reality? Am I chasing answers compulsively or am I allowing insight to arrive? And that right there, that one right there, it's this big trust wound. Okay. Somebody is struggling to trust. Somebody feels unsafe trusting themselves and trusting the guidance to come. And that I've experienced that as well. And now I don't feel that way anymore. Why? Because I tapped on that fear. Because as you tap on your fears, as you tap and face them, you tap long enough, you're going to stop believing it. You're just gonna. Like, I've went into a tapping session with myself, like, literally terrified, gut-wrenchingly terrified, to the point where I thought, "I'm gonna fucking sabotage something. I'm gonna do something crazy. I don't know what, but Imma do something that I shouldn't do." So I tapped on it, and within 5 minutes, it's not always that quick, a lot of the times it can be, but within, like, 5 minutes, I didn't even believe what I was just stuck in. I mean, it clears the bullshit that quick sometimes, and I was like, "Oh my god," and the relief was otherworldly. I remember I was in the shower when that happened, and, like, I was just tapping, 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 and I literally said to myself, I was like, "I can't see through this right now," because I was feeling overwhelmed. I was, like, a couple minutes into this, I was like, "I can't see through this fear right now. This is all that makes sense to me. This is the only thing that feels true to me, this fear. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to do about it," and within a few minutes of just doing that shit, it's like a curtain lifted. It's like the angels were singing in my head, and I was just like, "Oh my god, it doesn't make sense anymore. That fear, that thing that I was just stuck in doesn't make any sense." And that's relief, baby. That is pure fucking relief. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So if you were stuck in a thought, tap on it. And when I say tap on it, just to give you an example, like we always have, like, in tapping, we do a setup statement, because it helps break up what's called psychological reversal, which is essentially where your energy is turning in on itself. You're like that snake eating its tail in the worst way, though. And you are just like spiraling and spiraling and spiraling, and you can't break through. So when you tap on it, you can say a little something along the lines of, it's not rigid at all. Even though I'm afraid about this, 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 and this, kind of pick one specific thing. But like, even though I feel this fear about this, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, even if you don't believe it. I didn't believe it at first either. Do it the fuck anyway. Say it anyway. And you do that about 3 times or as many as you need. Even though I feel this fear about this thing, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And you want to really address the somatics in your body too, the sensations. Even though I feel this twist in my gut, even though I feel this heat in my back, because that's where the energy's alive. That's where it's living in the body. It made a home, and now that chemical concoction is just, like, automatically flowing, and the tapping is gonna disrupt that. And so you tap through it, and then you go through the points, and you just address it. "I'm terrified about this. I'm fucking scared this thing's gonna happen. I'm blah, 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 blah." Be specific, be vulnerable, be honest, be direct with yourself. And if you do that long enough, you don't have to force yourself to think differently. That's why I love tapping so much, you guys. You get to meet yourself exactly where you are, as you are. You don't need to do anything else. You just need to be with yourself and talk about how you're feeling. It's kinda like venting to a friend, only don't vent just to vent anymore. Vent and tap, because then you're processing. You're actually processing the energy that's got you feeling like shit. And eventually, you're gonna notice, sometimes within that tapping session, sometimes after a couple, it's either way, you're gonna progress, either way. But eventually, you're gonna feel your body relax, or you're gonna get real exhausted. Either one, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. You might burp a lot. If you're burping a lot, fuck yeah, celebrate it. Whatever. But you're going to feel something shift at some point, and it's gonna feel like a lightning bolt night and day. I don't even believe this anymore. It just doesn't. It just doesn't make sense anymore. And then you're free. And that's a permanent change, because and what happened was is your brain just rewired. Literally. Literally some kind of like meant like some what do you call it? What the fuck do you call that? The, neural pathways, something like that. Something just got pruned away and a new one became activated. And if you stay with it, it becomes a permanent change. And but if the insight is deep enough, if the revelation is profound enough in your body, that's permanent. It's done. It's done. There ain't no going back. But okay, what else? This also looks like, okay, moving to escape discomfort, right? Taking action to escape discomfort versus moving with aligned momentum. So if you ever find yourself in this chaotic energy that this Knight of Swords can represent, if you find yourself moving because you don't like how you feel, ooh, stop. Pump the brakes. Sit down, because you need to feel that feeling. You need to feel it. And it's, don't believe your mind telling you this isn't safe to feel. It's unsafe. It's less safe to not feel it. Honestly, I think I said that right. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Because the thing is, okay, like I said in the beginning, this whole reading is coming to somebody today because they're not aware of they're not necessarily practicing conscious awareness of their mental processing that's happening. And so they're just kind of being at the mercy of it, whereas you need awareness. You need to bring awareness into it because your thoughts, these thought currents that you're writing right now, these like little waves you're writing, they're shaping your perception, they're shaping your identity. And your identity is ultimately the cause of your circumstances. So like if you feel like you're experiencing a lot of this or a lot of that, there's an identity rooted in that experience. That experience is a symptom of that identity. It's a mirror to that identity. It's an expression of that identity. And your thoughts are shaping your emotions. They're causing how you feel. A lot of the times it's the way you're perceiving things. They are they're shaping your nervous system state, your reality interpretation, and your energetic momentum. So if you are thinking a lot of negative thoughts all the time and you're not stopping to check in on that like you need to be, okay, that's the invitation really here is to stop and check in on what you're thinking and you're wondering why a lot of chaotic shit keeps happening around you. It's because you've got energetic momentum moving in the direction of fucking chaos. And so this is coming in to help somebody see like, hey, you're not a victim here. Okay. You may have experienced victimization, but you're not a victim in your truth, in your core of who you are. And if you want to get out of that experience of victimization, either by life or a circumstance or a money situation or a relationship, whatever it is, you have to take control of your inner experience. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? What are you believing? What are you deciding is true about any moment given in time? Okay, I need to pause, you guys. I think that was the gist of the message, but I need to take a break. Also, look how cute this journal is. Oh my God. All right, do you guys have any questions? Anything coming through for anybody? I need to breathe. I feel like I just went a million miles a minute. I'm going to tap. I'm going to tap for a minute. Y'all can tap with me if you want. It just helps me ground. And we can just coexist for a moment, unless you guys have questions or want to say anything. What resonated? What resonated with you? Don't even focus on anything that didn't, because that's for someone else. And if you're just real activated, then just tap with me. Just tap with me and focus on a feeling in your body. You don't even have to say anything. It's the beautiful thing about tapping. Your body is so fucking intelligent. And just breathe through it. Make sure you guys hydrate if you do tap though. Make sure you hydrate. It helps your body metabolize the emotions. Cuz like I said, these are chemical processes happening in your body. Your emotions are. They're not just like ow, these like random invisible things like no, there's chemicals flooding your system and your thoughts trigger those like immediately. And there's books on this shit. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a powerful teacher in this whole thing. He really brings the science to the woo woo. My God, can you guys like those of you who have been here the whole time, can you tell that the energy has shifted? I can feel it. I might need to take a nap after this. Let's just regulate together for a moment and trust. And just trust. It's all going to work itself out. When we focus on ourselves, when we take care of ourselves, the rest takes care of itself. Because you are the present moment. You are this moment. And how you respond to it, that creates your next step. This is literally what I do on a daily basis. Just sit here and tap. That's one thing you'll never regret is taking up a tapping practice. You'll never regret it. You won't lose anything but the illusions. You'll lose the ideas of who you thought you were, but you'll be left with who you really are. And it's like, oh, okay. Okay. That's where you've been hiding underneath all the debris of my past. Ooh. Mm. And sometimes, mind you guys, sometimes an emotion turns on a little louder when you're tapping at first. That's not a bad sign. I remember I did a tapping workshop like last year, and this lady was tapping, she was tapping with me, and the shame got so loud. It got like, oh, and she just broke down. And I was like, keep fucking tapping, keep going, keep going. And within a few minutes, she started to calm down and like she started to feel more relaxed. And that means that she worked through some of that. She let some of it go. If you feel like you can't let something go, tap on it. You'll let it go. Might take a couple rounds, but you'll let it go. Also, rocking helps. I like to rock when I tap. Mm. Or swaying. I've got Jewel on in the background. Jewel's playing Who Will Save Your Soul? Who will save your soul if you won't save your own? There you go. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop after this one. Otherwise, I'm gonna fall asleep here with you guys. I don't think anybody wants that. It would be funny though, right? Okay. All right. If you tapped with me, just take a nice deep breath. Give yourself a hug too. Somebody needs to give themselves a hug. Give yourself a hug. Mm, just feel it. Just hug yourself. It's okay if it feels weird at first. It used to feel weird to me too. But okay. Oh, my gum is like stuck. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Okay. I think I'm gonna come to an end here. I don't feel anything else coming through with this Knight of Swords energy. I hope you heard something that activated you in a positive way, and I hope you take positive action on it from this moment forward. If anybody needs a private tapping session and a tarot reading, the link is in my profile to book, and I'll have it on the replay of this live as well, which I'll post probably tonight or tomorrow. But I will catch you guys later. And yeah, I'll see you next Friday for another tarot and tapping. Mwah.